Welcome, everyone, to a Dose of Wisdom real estate podcast, where you could get your daily dose of wisdom on all things real estate related. I'm your host, David Stein, and today we have the privilege of having on our show Blima Ehtrentreu. Blima is the founder and CEO of the Designers Group, and the Designers Group has locations in Toronto, New York, and Florida, and is taking on projects throughout the U.S. and internationally. The Designers Group diverse portfolio spans the residential and commercial sector, and Inc. magazine ranked the Designers Group number 15 among the top fastest growing private companies in the New York metro area. Blima, thank you again for coming on the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So my first question to you is, what initially made you to decide to pursue a career in design?
Okay. When I was in high school, my family moved across the street from the home we grew up in and watched that house get crashed down and rebuilt. I loved watching that process and seeing how the foundation was set, the walls went up, and just knowing the possibilities that were there. And I think that was when I decided that I really want to do this as a career.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so do you remember your first project, and can you tell us more about that experience?
Yeah, so my first project, originally when I got my master's in interior design, I started off in the residential sector. And I remember I was working on someone's home, and we designed a beautiful living dining room space with furniture that we loved, and we were so excited. The day came when all the furniture was arriving and the sofa did not fit through the front door. And that experience had such an effect on me because, you can figure everything out and look at all the details, but sometimes the experience that comes with doing things for a while is what you really need. And I found that this mistake that I had is something that I always take into account now. So I always tell my team, any project that we do, any experience that we have, as long as we learn from the mistakes that we do, then it's really okay to make those mistakes. And now we're actually designing an event space where we have 18-foot partitions that need to go into the space, and we had to figure out how those are getting into the building. And just looking at any of the projects that we're working on, taking any of the lessons that we've learned from our previous projects is something that I always keep in mind. So I always talk about that first project where we were so excited and thought that we nailed down every detail, but there was still something that we had missed.
Right. And it's better that you made that mistake earlier on and you were able to capitalize on that.
Definitely. And as designers, we're always growing and evolving. And every new space that we work on, there's something new that we learn.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the power of branding, and how have you personally used branding to help grow your business?
We're in the creative space, so we love doing any types of design, even though our expertise is really in the interior space. We also take care of all our own marketing and branding in-house. We've built our own website. We take care of our own social platforms, and it's really part of the creative process, and we love it. And I do see the importance of branding and kind of positioning yourself where you want to be as a company, as a brand. And we've definitely seen the value in that for sure. And I would say in all the spaces we're designing as well, we believe in an experience. Before you even walk through the door, we want everything to be cohesive. So from the print ads, from any social, digital marketing, we want that to all play into the experience that people will have when they're in the space as well. So we do get involved in branding for some of our projects.
Right. Okay. What was an interesting or challenging product involving designing a space that you were able to successfully pull off?
We're working on an event space right now that is 11 stories below where the space is. And we want to have that space available for Jewish weddings, which requires there to be a skylight and some access to the sky. And basically what we had to figure out was how to make the space work where there's different types of events and different types of seating arrangements, as well as like the different functions of what a Jewish wedding looks like. And we had to incorporate that with an 11-story high skylight. So that was a super interesting challenge. But in general, with every space that we're working on, there are the constraints that always challenge us. And that's what we always look for in a design project. The more challenges we have, the more exciting the result is, and the more we are stimulated, and the more exciting the process is for us.
Okay. What was one of the largest projects you have been involved in to date?
We're working on a lot of exciting projects. I don't always say, it's not always the quantity, sometimes it's the quality, but we have worked on the second largest nursing home in the country.
Wow.
We are working on the largest private Jewish boys' school in the country. It's 25,000 square feet per floor, which is about 275,000 square feet. We're also working on a lot of interesting branded design locations where we're working on daycare centers where we came up with a brand for them, and we're incorporating that into 15 locations, as well as an urgent care brand where we worked on about 14 locations. There's more locations to come as well. So every project is different. Every project is unique. We're working on a mikveh now with 100 rooms. So it's an interesting project as well. We're working on a special needs school in Brooklyn, which is also something really impactful. And we really look for projects that make an impact and where we can really see the people enjoying the space. And that's one of the reasons why we're so passionate about our senior living projects that we're working on as well, and the multifamily projects. So really, wherever we can make an impact, that's something that is very empowering and something that we love to be involved in.
Right. Well, it sounds like every day is interesting.
For sure.
And also fulfilling.
Yes.
Do you have any interesting stories of divine providence or hashgacha pratis that you wish to share with the audience that you experienced in your career?
I think the fact that I even have a career at all is divine providence. I think in every situation, we really have to look for Hashem's hand. And I think that it's so clear to see. But I also believe in putting in hard work and doing what you can so that you can see the results of your work. And in general, with any of the spaces that we're designing, every day we're in the construction industry. There is always something that is like, oh, wow, like this was meant to happen. Seeing the impact, seeing how we're able to help people. And that's one of the reasons that we believe so strongly in the different charitable initiatives that we run through the firm, because I believe, and my team believes as well, that anything that we do to make the world better really comes back to help us as well. And we're all about that. Our firm's motto is designing with purpose, creating a better world. And we really believe that with every environment that we're making better, we're really creating a better world. And I would say that we can only do that with Hashem helping us and with divine providence.
Right. So could you tell us more about the TDG Furniture Exchange Program that your company has launched recently?
A couple of years ago, I was moving apartments, and the original furniture that I had did not necessarily fit into the new space that I was moving into. And I was trying to figure out what to do, because furniture is bulky. It's hard to just get rid of it. But at the same time, I also didn't want to get rid of it. So I was talking to some friends, what should I do about it? And that was when the Furniture Exchange was born, where I realized that there is a need for people to have a place to give their unused furniture, because there's so many people who can actually use it. And it's been amazing to see the growth and also the impact of this program, where people who have furniture to give away are able to reach out to us. We have volunteers in 8 different locations right now who facilitate the donations of the furniture and matching them up with people who need it. And every location works a little bit differently. In New York, we've partnered with Dumbo Movers, where anyone who donates furniture can have the furniture moved for free to the recipient. So what's so incredible about this program is that it's free for both the donor and the recipient. Right. And we have been able to help match up thousands of pieces of furniture. And it's been really amazing seeing the impact of someone who doesn't need their furniture and seeing how someone else can really use it. And we're working on an app now to streamline the process and really be able to reach even more people and potentially have it operating in every country.
That's incredible. All right, sounds like a really great program.
Yes, we're excited about it.
Okay, so my final question to you is, what advice would you give to interior designers looking to start out?
I would say believe in yourself and don't worry about making mistakes. And that's why I always reference back to that first project that I worked on, because if I would have let that mistake get me down, I would never be where I am today. But I do also always say that it's important to learn from those mistakes, because every project that we work on, every day that we live through, it's a learning experience, and we should never give up. We should always take our vision and make sure that we're taking the necessary steps to be able to implement it. So if you are a designer and you're looking to get into a career in interior design, then go to school, get the necessary education, try to get the necessary experience. And we actually do have a program where we invite potential designers to come experience a day as an interior designer, because I remember when I was in school and trying to figure out what did it mean to be in the commercial interior design space. And I just had no way of really experiencing that. So people can come in, we have a full day planned for them where they get to work on different design projects and different things that a designer would do. And they also have the option to be mentored by one of our designers. And that's just something that we want to encourage future designers to be able to have whatever it is that they need in order to be successful. But I always say, follow your dreams, take risks, but also make sure that you're laying the necessary groundwork to be successful at it.
Okay. Well, that's really sound and valuable advice. I appreciate you taking the time for coming on the show, and hopefully we'll have you again sometime in the future.
Okay, definitely. Thank you for having me, and have a good rest of the day.
All right, you too.